This is Matador News. These are today's headlines. Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin tells Russian voters their country has great nuclear potential. And Southern California residents prepare for the upcoming storm.
Hello and welcome to Matador News. I'm Jesus Partida.
And I'm Anissa Pillai.
The U.S. ambassador to Mexico plans to resign from her post in May. Roberta Jacobson served for less than 2 years because her confirmation was delayed. Analysts said her departure will be felt deeply for her experience in the Latin American region. Jacobson says this was a difficult decision. She will be leaving during a tense time in the relationship between the U.S. and Mexico because of tensions between the two countries' leaders over the wall. Jacobson's resignation will end a career of over 30 years in the State Department.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says the country has developed an invincible missile. Putin claims his new weapons would be able to invade the U.S. missile defenses. Putin made the claim in an election speech. Russian voters go to the polls in mid-March.
The New York Times is reporting that President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner's family real estate firm, received a loan of $184 million from Apollo Global Management last spring. Apollo founder Joshua Harris reportedly met several times with Kushner in the White House. Among other things, according to the Times, a job in the White House for Harris was discussed. The amount of the loan was 3 times the average property loan made by Apollo. Shortly after this, Citigroup's chief executive Michael Corbett also reportedly met with Kushner. Citigroup lent a bigger amount to Kushner's firm. Government ethics experts say the meeting between White House officials and executives before a large money is lent do not happen that often.
In Orlando, Florida, the trial of the widow of the Pulse nightclub shooter starts today with jury selection. She is charged with providing material support to a foreign terrorist organization and for allegedly misleading law enforcement agents investigating the massacre. Prosecutors say Noor Salman was aware of her husband's plan and could have tipped off authorities preventing the mass shooting. Salman has pleaded not guilty to all the charges. If convicted, she could face life in prison.
President Trump wants to create a new gun control policy after the recent mass shooting in Florida. One of those changes will be raising the age requirement for gun purchases.
You have to look at the age of 21 for certain types of weapons. I mean, some people aren't going to like that, but you're going to have to look at that very seriously. And I think we're going to have a vote. I think it's going to be a very successful vote, and I will sign it.
Trump also wants law enforcement to have the authority to remove guns from mentally ill people. Additionally, he says he wants more extensive background checks for those who purchase guns.
Oakland mayor is under heavy criticism from ICE for announcing future raid operations. Chris Farias in the newsroom has more on the story.
Mayor Libby Schaaf says that she has no regrets for warning the public of immigration operations and that she would do it again.
What I did was my job as the mayor of Oakland and reflective of the values of the people that I represent.
More than 150 people were arrested since Sunday. According to ICE, half of those arrested were criminals. Some CSUN students say that support the mayor.
People should know, especially with Trump as president, things going like, it's not like we don't have a really good situation going on right now, so yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's an invasion of privacy to see like somebody come in and like destroy what you like have built up. And I know like for sure, like I think like about a week ago or so, they had like been posting where raids are going to be happening in like the city of LA. So like I thought that was very informative, especially for people who like are making a living out here.
On Wednesday, Schaaf pushed back on ICE's criticism and said Californians have to fight against the racist myth that the Trump administration is trying to perpetuate, that immigrants are dangerous criminals. Now back to the studio with Jesus for more news.
Thank you. In Los Angeles, 41-year-old Richard Rene Colomo is scheduled to appear in court today. He was arrested for a second time in connection with the brutal beating of an 85-year-old woman in Koreatown. The beating happened 3 weeks ago when the victim was walking to the grocery store.
Disneyland employees are struggling with homelessness and poverty due to low wages. Hundreds of protesters showed up demanding a livable wage while Disney unions met to discuss wages in Anaheim. A study from researchers at Occidental College and the Economic Roundtable shows that 1 in 10 Disneyland employees has experienced homelessness, while 2/3 don't have enough food for 3 meals a day. Disneyland says the typical worker has an average pay of $37,000 a year.
An LA County Sheriff's deputy is under investigation for alleged sexual misconduct towards a woman seeking aid. Josh Clark was suspended after a woman claimed sexual battery. She said he told her he would help protect her from her ex-husband, and then asked her for her number. Shortly after, she says Clark started to send lewd messages. This reportedly went on until the victim gave up to the demands. Deputy Clark has not been arrested at the moment.
A hiker has been rescued after being lost for as many as 5 days. The Altadena Mountain Rescue Team says they heard the man cry for help, but could not pinpoint his location. The 30-year-old was finally found in an area away from any hiking trails. The hiker is recovering from minor injuries and exposure to the elements at a local hospital.
As storm head to California, an evacuation warning has been extended for Santa Barbara. The storm can cause debris flows and flooding in the recent burn areas. CSUN student Jacob Pasqua is preparing himself for a possible evacuation.
As of now, there's no established shelters, but my family and I have a place to stay out here, so we're prepared to go to that place.
County emergency officials are waiting to see if the forecast changes before they make mandatory evacuation order. The community is being advised to evacuate animals, and evacuation shelters will be provided if needed.
Now let's go to Tianan Phelps for the latest in business.
Thank you, Anissa. President Trump announces he plans on placing tariffs on foreign steel and aluminum starting next week. Trump said he will be adding 25% tariffs on steel and 10% on aluminum. Doing this may trigger retaliation from trade partners, making U.S. products more expensive for Americans as an end result. During the meeting with steel and aluminum executives, Trump said America has been treated horribly by other countries regarding trade and says he will have to grow their own industries. Earlier this morning, Trump tweeted, "Our steel and aluminum industries have decimated by decades of unfair trade and bad policy from countries around the world. We must not let our country companies, workers be taken advantage of any longer. We want free, fair, and smart trade." At last check, the Dow Jones down was more than 400 points. Kroger is the latest store raised the minimum to buy guns from age 18 to 21. The U.S. largest retail chain said it currently sells firearms in 43 Fred Meyer stores. These locations will also stop selling assault rifles. Other retail stores such as Dick's Sporting Goods and Walmart made similar changes to their policies. Both retailers are banning the purchase of firearms from shoppers under 21. President Trump says he's raising the minimum age to purchase guns, something he should consider a way to reduce gun violence. A former software engineer is suing Google after a number of harassment and discrimination accusations. Loretta Lee says that she was receiving lewd comments from someone hiding under her desk before she was fired in 2016. She also says she didn't report the desk incident at first, fearing retaliation from her managers discriminated against her. She returned to work in 2015 after a car accident. Google says they have strong policies against harassment in the workplace and reviews every complaint they receive. Now let's go to Londy, Sagastume for the latest health news.
Many medical facilities are making a change in their IV bags. They are now using balanced fluids instead of just saline. Researchers say saline has caused kidney damage and even deaths over the years. These balanced fluids include potassium and saline. IVs are commonly used to prevent dehydration, maintain blood pressure, or give patients the nutrients needed when they can't eat. Let's go back to Tianan for the latest in entertainment.
The Oscars' 90th anniversary will be celebrated on Sunday. This year's ceremony will be hosted by late-night TV host comedian Jimmy Kimmel for the second year in a row. Some of the nominees for the Best Picture include Lady Bird star Saoirse Ronan and director Greta Gerwig.
Get into those schools anyway. Mom, you should just go to City College. You know, with your work ethic, just go to City College and then to jail, and then back to City College, and then maybe you'd learn to pull yourself up and not expect everybody to do everything.
Lady Bird, is that your...
Other nominees include the Get Out star Daniel Kaluuya and director Jordan Peele. Hollywood Boulevard's been blocked off in a week preparation to the awards. Some performers will be Mary J. Blige, Common, Miguel, and many more. A majority of Americans and Facebook users, but younger Americans are more likely to use Snapchat and Instagram. Pew Research Center latest survey of social media use is the difference in usage regarding apps like Snapchat depending on the age. Research shows people between the ages of 25 and 29 tend not to use apps such as Snapchat and Instagram as much as people in their early 20s. 78% of Snapchat users between the ages of 20 and 24 use the app in comparison to users between the ages of 25 to 29, which drops to 54%. On the other hand, Facebook is used by people all age groups. Cloning our four-legged friend is more popular than you would think. Matador News reporter Kimberly Lopez has more on the story.
Actress and singer Barbra Streisand revealed in an interview with Variety that she cloned her dog, not once, but twice. Dog owners say they would love their dogs to live forever, and with today's medical science, they can. But are people actually willing to do it? CSUN students gave us their opinion.
I definitely think about it. It'd be cool to have two of my cats, but nah, I definitely wouldn't do it. I could use that for something better, you know?
I think I would, just because I love my dog so much and how cute he is, you know? I would want to keep him forever and keep cloning him till the day I die.
I have a service animal myself, so he's so amazing, and he's become like a family member. I almost think that I would, if not for the fact that it's $50,000.
Streisand had stem cells taken from her dog Samantha's mouth and stomach. Samantha died last year. CSUN biology major Nathan Lehman explains the process further.
It's actually rather simple. You just take an adult stem cell and induce it into an embryonic stem cell. So you just merge them at an early stage before they divide. So
simple, for only $50,000. Or you can adopt a dog at the West Valley Animal Shelter for a few miles away from here for $1,000. Let's go back to Londy in the studio for the latest news and sports.
Thank you, Kimberly. The Los Angeles Dodgers have been hit with a flu-like virus. 24 to 26 players have been affected. The virus has caused the players to suffer from symptoms such as chills and fatigue. A group of 4 air filters designed to prevent germs from spreading were placed inside the team's locker room. All of the ill players were sent home by the team. The Lakers are battling the Miami Heat today at 4:30 after averaging almost 119 points while hitting half their shots in the last 6 games. But the Lakers took a hit after Wednesday's practice when the breakout rookie Josh Hart fractured his 4th metacarpal, benching him for an undetermined amount of time. The Miami Heat's Dwayne Wade rose to steal the win from Philadelphia, giving the team 2 straight wins and are 32 to 29 on the year, which could mean trouble for the Lakers. The FBI and Congress are investigating the NCAA for college basketball recruiting practices. Undercover agents have found that the top NCAA basketball programs were involved in corrupt bribery schemes as the college basketball tournaments begin in 2 weeks. Congress is already investigating the NCAA for sexual abuse after the conviction of Larry Nassar for sexually abusing hundreds of young gymnasts. Now let's go back to Anissa for more news and weather.
An exotic bird named Sophie made her appearance on TV as she landed on KFMB anchor Michelle Medina's head on live TV. Sophie landed on her head as the anchor was getting ready to tease her next segment on Zoo Day. The video has gone viral on social media. The early bird doesn't always catch the worm. It caught the hare.
Stay warm and dry over the weekend, Matadors. Experts Expect partly cloudy skies in Northridge today with a highs of 55 degrees and lows of 46 tonight. We will be getting rain early morning tomorrow with a high of 54 degrees and showers in the afternoon. The rain is expected to follow through until Saturday morning with lows of 36 degrees.
Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Anissa Pillai.
I'm Tianan Phelps.
I'm Londy Sagastume.
And I'm Jesus Partida.